This one here, Anime of the Year, Solo Leveling was the winner. You had your nominees, which were pretty much all the kind of big hitters. Dan to Dan, of course, Delicious in Dungeon, Free Ren, Kaiju number 8, Solo Leveling, of course, as the winner, and the Apocryphy Diaries. Any gripes with this one? We'll start with Jackie.
No, I actually like looked. I might have gone too. I might have went down a rabbit hole for a lot of this shit. So I went and not only did I do like stare at this and just kind of be a little angry, but also I got all the ratings for all of the anime that were all the nominees, and it was
Mm-hmm.
just across a bunch of different websites. But I also looked at all of the anime that came out that year too that could have been a part of this nomination list. And like what I wrote on here for this is I'm not surprised that this won. The only thing that kind of like makes me a little upset is um I love the Apothecary Diaries. I think that it's really great. Do I think that it should have been a nominee for Anime of the Year? No, because other anime that I think that was a little bit or a lot more solid. I don't got a love, and we'll see it throughout these like next few or pretty much all of the not subjects categories is like Shangri-La Frontier. That's like one of the big ones. And I'm gonna put ReZero out there because ReZero's like season 3 this year was absolutely insane and just
Mm.
continues to hit as an isekai. And that was only my biggest gripe. I think the other ones I think deserve to be up there for anime of the year, but the big one was Apothecary Diaries because that one's I don't think that was a anime should have been an anime of the year nominee.
So you would have replaced Apothecary Diaries with either
Shangri-La
ReZero,
Frontier
Shangri-La?
for sure.
Okay.
And then I don't think I would have picked Solo Leveling as much as I love it. I think that the top 3 that I think should have battled it out was Kaiju, Freerin, and Dandadan, personally. And then I almost think that it should have been between I don't know. This is hard. I think Freerin or Dandadan, and I think that it would have been if I think of everything, Dandadan.
Okay. What about you, EJ?
I agree a lot with what Jackie had mentioned, especially that others could have been on this list. Some of the others that have we've gone over before. Um, do I feel Solo Leveling should have won? I feel like it in the category who it was up against. It maybe it's a fair selection, but I mean I do feel like Dan to Dan probably was a little more in my vein of interest. Basically, more character development, more interesting delves into the story. Um, and I do feel like Freyren, I mean, story wise, blows a lot out of the water. But we're gonna get to those later as to you know categories they definitely should have won or what
Mm-hmm.
overall anime of the year. Soul Leveling, I would say I I disagree, but I can accept it because of the fact of its popularity.
Yeah,
Um, but I
yeah,
do
and I
agree.
also
Apothecary Diaries really, I didn't feel like it belonged on Anime of the Year. Is it a good anime? Yes. Does it deserve recognition? Somewhere, yes, for what it provides, but it's not in comparison to these others that it's on the board with. I feel like it did boil down to the same picks as Jackie said, Free Run and Dan to Dan. And Soul Leveling probably would have been my top 3 of those. Not saying Kaiju number 8 wasn't as or a great series, but as far as being great art, great action, great music, and so forth, I feel those
yeah,
3 kind of held the ground better. And but I probably would have went with Freerun overall, just because I'm more of a story person,
yeah,
and the characters and the depth and the meticulousness of time that they put in. Yeah, you're talking about action sequences with Solo Leveling are gorgeous. I
yeah.
mean,
It's
it's some of the
sick.
best. But Freerun can have a whole episode where you're just watching her collect flowers, and you're stuck to it because of the fact that they make it um, vibe with you. It has a
Hmm.
feel. So um, that is how I feel. What do you got?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I wanted to say really quick when I was looking up the categories too, because I didn't know like how these nominees were selected. and if there was actual criteria first before they went into it. And when I Googled it, like there isn't like a specific criteria to make it anime of the year. They just, and I don't know if you guys looked this up or for how the nominees are selected, but they just select random people from around the world. They might be a fan, someone that's like got extensive knowledge, if you will, for whatever they think that is an anime. Maybe it's a director, or maybe it's like, from what I read, it said someone that wouldn't be biased from different studios, which I don't understand what that means, because when you have a bunch of anime that's up in all the studios that are out there, if you're gonna pull anyone that has extensive knowledge, you're gonna be biased to one of the studios. And then these nominees just pick what they think are the top nominees based off of their own opinions. And then they put the list up. And then from there, everyone gets to vote once a day. And as soon as I found that out, I was like, oh, well, yeah, there you go. That's why Solo Leveling won, because at that point, like, no one's considering like the story or character progression. It's now just like, this anime is so cool, and because I watched the man or read the manhwa, it's even more sick, and I've been hyping this up for years, so this needs to be anime of the year. And so that's why it makes sense to me why this got anime of the year.
Yeah, I'm on board with you guys. And when you look at anime of the year, I'm thinking you're looking at the totality. If there's good action, good storytelling, good direction, good art, background, voice character, all of that stuff comes into play. So essentially, the dumbed down version, how I would look at it is, if I'm going through the rest of these categories and I'm not seeing Solo Leveling pick up best art design, best director, best voice actor, best story, like, I'm just, so how is this anime of the year? Like, this might as well just be fans' choice, which essentially all of these end up being fans' choice, because you just have fans coming back voting every day. And it essentially turns the Crunchyroll Anime Awards into like the MTV, music awards or something like that, where like fans go on MTV and they're voting for their favorite or whatever. So, was I expecting anything else? No, because I mean, the minute this becomes the highest rated anime in Crunchyroll history, every 4.89 stars or so, 4.7 or 79 stars. It's just like everybody's on board with it. A lot of the pop culture sites were talking about it, how it was breaking the internet. So when it starts crossing genres from just a anime coveted thing to like pop culture, almost like how Demon Slayer has done, you can't help but just expect this to get all the votes for anime of the year. So, but yeah, Apothecary Diaries, I think they set them up. I mean, I don't even think
They were Fall Guys.
like you said, this is just certain things. Like, you're not going to put, a slice of life anime up in anime of the year when you got Dan to Dan, Free Ren Kaiju,
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah, you're not gonna put like what was it, the one that won that I haven't seen, but like Girls Band Cry. Apparently
Right.
everyone has been raving about that
That's
this
not
year.
getting
And I'm not gonna
thrown
lie,
out.
I never heard of it until the awards.
Yeah. But yeah, so we can understand. I think that's the consensus. We can understand how Solo Leveling got anime of the year. Do we agree it should have won? No, but I'm not gonna stand on a hill and fight anybody about the decision.
I'll fight.
You will.
I'll fight. I will.
I think that
fight.
Willie brought up a
What's
really
that?
great point. If you're going to get anime of the year, then you probably should have director of the year,
Yeah.
character of the year, action sequence of the year, or music of the year. You should have multiple categories. And I know we're kind of seeing that here, but it doesn't match up. That's where the part where I think it loses out. When Willie said, if you get this, it only makes sense that you had these to back it up. They did give those, but they didn't, compared to its, other nominees, it is not winner in those categories.
They should have made this category, like you said, Willie. It should have just been fan pick. They should have a category that says fan pick, and then that's the only category, and then everyone spams, like they have top 10, and it's the top 10 that were like the top 10 of the year that were rated a 4.8 or higher on Crunchyroll for that year, or maintain a consistent 4.8, and then people can just spam as much as they freaking want once a day.
Yep, I agree.